Welcome to our side event hosted by the Swedish International Agriculture Network Initiative, SIANI, WWF Sweden Youth, and the Government of Sweden. And my name is Alice Tunfjord, and I am an associate at SIANI, which is a global network promoting inclusive dialogue around sustainable and rights-based food systems and agriculture. And I will be your host today during this hour, together with my colleague Rojda.
Hello, everybody, and thank you all so much for being here. My name is Rojda Temur, and I'm a part of WWF Sweden Youth, where I'm doing a leadership program on how to become a great leader regarding environmental questions. I'm also a student in Sweden studying social analysis.
And this week at the World Food Forum, we've all been part of so many exciting events and exhibitions all related to healthy diets and a healthy planet. And in the upcoming hour during this side event, we would like to dig a bit deeper into this from the perspective of healthy and sustainable snacks. Because a recent study that we found was published this year finds that snacks are increasingly replacing the standard bigger meals in people's lives, and that there is a growing demand for functional snacks, which are healthy and provide nutritional value. And this is especially true for the younger generation. And these types of snacks that are sustainable, nutritional, and healthy will be the focus of today's dialogue. Because if we look at the trends in our snacking habits, of them becoming more and more common in our diets, our future snacks must be sustainable produced from a social, environmental, and economic perspective.
Right, and I will go on to tell you about WWF Sweden Youth, which is a non-profit leadership program that trains young youth to become the sustainability leaders of today and also tomorrow. Something relevant and worth to mention is that we as a group have also almost for a 3-year period worked with a project that's called E for Change. And it is about people eating differently for themselves and for the planet, one meal at a time. We work to support the sustainable development goals, climate change agreements, and integrating positive economic and social change impacts. Me and myself, as a like a lot of other students, can often relate to replacing meals with snacks throughout the day, and some might not be as healthy as we think they are.
Yeah, that's true. And that's hopefully what we'll dig into deeper today. And combining snacks with entrepreneurship is something that we will do in this side event. And at SIANI and WWF Sweden Youth, we have been working with young people and the role of young people in food systems for quite some time. And we're curious to find out how young entrepreneurs can enter the growing snacking industry to meet a new consumer demand, but also to do so in a sustainable way. And to do so, we will hear from 4 speakers that are entrepreneurs and researchers today that will share their stories and their ideas on how young people can take place in the future healthy snacking industry. But first, we would like to take a small snapshot of how snacks in general are consumed among our followers. And during the past weeks, we at SIANI posted some polls on Twitter asking our followers about their snacking habits. And we found out from this very short polling survey, that snacks are definitely part of people's diets. More than 90% said that they do eat snacks every day. And when eating snacks, many opted for healthier options, such as nuts or fruits. And they preferred snacks that are tasty and sustainably produced. And I think this also sets the scene nicely for this event. And Before we start with the presentations by young entrepreneurs and researchers, I am delighted to welcome Pernilla Ivarsson to the stage. She's the Minister Counsellor and Deputy Permanent Representative to FAO from the Government of Sweden, and she will give us some introductory remarks today. Welcome, Pernilla. The screen is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for arranging this side event and for giving me the opportunity to make some introductory remarks on behalf of the Swedish government. Already now, I'd just like to apologize because I need to leave this session after my speech, and I really regret this because it seems like you're going to have a really interesting exchange with some fantastic examples. Innovation and entrepreneurship are in many ways embedded in the DNA of modern day Sweden. We are at the top of international rankings on innovation, and we are at the home of many groundbreaking companies that are known worldwide. Spotify, Skype, and Electrolux are only three well-known examples. There is, of course, no perfect formula, but elements such as societal openness, flat organizational structures, cross-sectorial dialogue, and a general public interest in new ideas are some of the ingredients for success. Sweden has been quick in understanding that sustainability is not only good for the planet, but that is essential for a successful business model as well. In fact, a few years ago, the Swedish FAO committee, which is led by the State Secretary to the Minister of Rural Affairs, presented the publication Towards 2030, Sustainability as the Business Case for Agriculture and Forestry. It includes many examples, not the least of a young female cattle farmer who has just taken over her father's farm and had a vision for success through sustainability. The ability to come up with innovative ideas, find new and dare to realize them are traits that we often connect with youth. Finding ways to supporting youth within the field of agriculture and food system is therefore vital to the future of food security. In the European Union's policy, agriculture policy for 2023 to 2027 and its strategic plan, there are initiatives and support for youth to both enter the sector as well as develop new innovative ideas. Support includes, for instance, startup grants, income support and benefits such as additional training. There are also general possibilities through innovation support for farmers to have cost covered for both themselves and partner researchers if they are collaborating for the development of new ideas and innovation. The Swedish government has identified the inclusion of youth in policy making as one of the important cornerstones for the transformation of food systems, and it's expressed in our national pathway, the one that followed the Food Systems Summit that we had a year ago. And I think this is very important all over and in many countries. So the challenge to wake up the interest of the younger generation to proceed in a career in agriculture and food systems or food systems, this is shared by developed and developing countries alike. In another publication by the Swedish FAO committee, Living from Nature, Development and Change since the Stockholm Conference in 1972, you can read about two young farmers, Kabanda Bath from Uganda and Elisabeth Hidén from Sweden, as they compare the opportunities and obstacles of their agricultural careers. The differences are there, of course, but you can also see similarities. Providing opportunities, room for maneuver, and identifying key supporting tools is something for the governments to do, but the ideas and innovations are up to the young entrepreneurs themselves. And I think this is what you will discuss today. There will be many examples of such ideas in the field of healthy snacks, indeed an area where there is much room for development. New and innovative ways of providing fast but healthy and nutritious alternatives is an interesting way of tackling global health issues while adapting to the modern way of life and opening new space of jobs. Also from a personal aspect, I look forward to finding more such options on the market. Finally, I want to wish you a very successful and inspiring side event. Thank you, and over.
Thank you so much, Pernilla, for connecting this topic to innovation and entrepreneurship, and also describing how the Swedish government and the EU support young people in these regards. And I think it was also interesting to hear some concrete examples that you mentioned from the Swedish FAO committee, and the publications that you mentioned have also been linked in the chat for those in the audience that are interested in reading them. And as you said, you have a full agenda today, so thank you so much for taking your time to introduce us to this event, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pernilla, for your speech. And yes, in the remaining hour, we have 4 exciting presentations coming up. After the presentations, the presenters will stay for a short panel discussions where we will also open up the floor to all of you in the audience, so you can ask your questions. We will now welcome our first speaker, Affiong Williams, CEO and founder of the company Real Fruit in Nigeria. Please tell me more about your journey, Affiong.
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Affiong Williams from Nigeria. I run a company called Real Fruit. I have a small presentation that will accompany my speech today. It's in line with the theme of the event, Snacking for a Healthy Planet. Also wanted to share my story around using my business model as a case study for how developing a snack has aided a lot of, has a lot of social impact, especially in the terms of youth employment, adding value to wasted raw materials, and even, people and planet initiatives. So if you could just help me with the next slide, I'll jump right into it. Okay, so in this slide, I just wanted to introduce the company. Real Fruit is the largest dried fruit processing, marketing and distribution company based out of Nigeria. I started the business a decade ago now, and the idea was to actually solve one of the issues that was nagging me as a young Nigerian, which was, the unemployment of youth. So I ventured into the agribusiness space because it created a lot of jobs, and I also wanted to, add value to a lot of raw materials that would otherwise go to waste. So in Nigeria, fruit is highly perishable. Well, fruit is highly perishable across the world, but in Nigeria, because we don't have, steady electricity and cold storage systems to move fruit and preserve it, the shelf life is really, really short. So I wanted to, add value to this fruit because most of it would go to waste, and also introduce a new healthy snack into the market. There was a gap in the market where I felt that we could offer, dried fruit snacks that have a longer shelf life. These products last for over a year, and also give people convenient, healthy snacking on the go. And so that's how the idea behind launching my company was formed. And we had to build the market for this product. Like I mentioned, this snack did not exist in the market in Nigeria 10 years ago. And today we're in over 700 stores across the country, and we've even exported our products across the world. So for us, introducing this snack into the market has a lot of, does a lot of good, and also has had a lot of impact. Please, next slide. Yes, so these are some of the company's milestones. Like I mentioned, where we're building the largest fruit agribusiness in Nigeria. We basically have a range of about 9 unique products that we've launched into the market. Our company employs over 120 full-time employees, 60% of whom are female and over 80% youth. Due to this business model, we continue to innovate from low-cost cold storage systems that support where the market is at today, to even developing new products. We're currently in R&D, research and development for making coconut water, which is currently a waste product in one of our, for our coconut range. We want to turn it into a shelf-stable drink that we can add value to and continue to reduce waste. So this business, also is lending itself to us not just recording innovations, but also, increasing, sort of the waste to wealth kind of space that we are operating in. We, as part of our business model, we also train youth in agribusiness. We've trained over 300 and, placed quite a significant number of those in jobs. We're also working with farmers to increase their productivity and, increase the quality of their output. So this is all sort of some of the achievements that we're recording under just launching a healthy snack into the market. Next slide. So our business model, is really working at an ecosystem level. Most agribusinesses on the continent, when you launch in one part of the value chain, so we launched just introducing snacks into the market, we realized that we have to also play a pivotal role in developing other aspects of the value chain. So we started with the processing side of dried fruit, but we found that we had to build out the marketing and distribution side by creating a market and also sort of backward integrate into the farming, and farmer development side of our business model to secure not just the business, but also, record social impact along the way. So this is kind of the landscape of where we play. We're in the marketing and distribution end of the business, like I mentioned, in over 600 retail points. We are processing, and this year we're actually launching in about a month and a half our factory that is currently 5 times our current capacity. So we're expanding quite rapidly. And we're also training over 200 farmers in our value chains to be able to supply us the quantity and quality of raw material we need. Next slide. So just wanted to record some of our impact metrics. I've spoken to some of them, but just want to reiterate again that, we see the opportunity for creating a healthy snack range to continue to, help us advance a lot of the social impact that this business has already recorded. Like I mentioned with the farmers, we are, increasing their knowledge base through really, really specialized training. We are helping them with post-harvest losses. We are acting as a guaranteed market for their output, which would otherwise be wasted. We're creating a lot of jobs. Our new factory is going to create 100 new jobs that will currently add to the 120 that we currently have. We create jobs both in the urban and rural areas of Nigeria. We are going to be taking about 6,000 tons of raw material from farmers over the next 2 years, which will, translate to over $500,000 in revenue for them, and we're going to increase their incomes. And we're also excited on the people and planet initiatives, both from our factory to the farm. We are finding ways to be more productive, using less resources, training our farmers to use less water, to be more productive per hectare of their output. We're using effluent systems that recycle water so that we're not wasting as much. We're also, trying to, again, add value to raw and to waste materials such as our coconut water that we're going to convert into new products, etc. Also, helping promoting the propagation and planting of tree crops, which help with reforestation and the like. So we're at the sort of expansive, play of our entire business. We want to record as much social impact. Of course, we want to grow, sell our products across the world, but really want to demonstrate too that the more we grow, the more impact we can record, and the more we become an example for for these kinds of businesses that can really have both commercial and social impact. So that's a bit. I was told I had 7 minutes. I don't know if there's any questions that people may have for me, but that's just the snapshot of our company. I'd love to connect with anybody offline, and really looking forward to the to questions and the next sections and hearing from other speakers. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shafi. What an amazing presentation. Just so happy to hear about your journey. This is so important for young entrepreneurs, and keep up the good work.
And yes, as Affiong said, if you have any questions at all, please post them in the chat and we'll bring them up to the speakers after all of the presentations that we had forward today. So our next speaker is Hovhannisyan, and she's the founder of the startup agribusiness Chir's House, producing dried fruit in Armenia. Anna, the screen is yours.
Hello. Sorry, I guess we have question to the previous speaker.
Yes, we will take that question after all the presentations. So you can go first, Anna.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello to everyone, I'm Anna from Armenia. I would like to ask you to open my presentation, then we'll start my speech to present my case from Armenia. Before opening the presentation.
Sorry, just give me a second. I think the presentation went missing. Let me just quickly fix it. Sorry.
Yeah, I can, if you allow me, I can open mine as well. Okay, before opening the presentation, I want to say that we started our operation in 2016 when I graduated the school. I graduated the university and decided to have start the business in a rural area, and I try to involve the women's and the community for some business and some operation. And we started the Chir's House dry fruit production and tourism center. After that, we launched a greenhouse sector as well. Will you change the slide? Start the operation with using the sun energy and the black stones and making dry fruit facility with the new technologies. Then when you change the slide, please, okay, here you can see our technology. When the black stones with the sun energy, we are combining with the two technologies and we are drying fruits. With this technology, we can have the high quality dried fruits and easily export to the European market as well. As you know, Armenia has some restrictions for exporting European market and US market. That's because of the quality of the product and the hygiene conditions, etc. Using this technology in a closed circle, it's easy for us for exporting, allowing us to export. Will you change the slide? Here you can see how we are managing our waste. In the second picture, you can see the packaging box. Our packaged product, the box we are making in the production using the waste of the furniture production. So, and the first picture, we are making a new healthy snacks from the dried fruits, which not has the marketable shape, but the quality still is the good. We are making a new high value product for the market. Currently selling the all the supermarket chains in Armenia, exporting Russia, and trying to open our branch shop in Bulgaria in the city of Sofia. Will you change the picture? After some period of production, we find out that in Armenia it's not easy to produce the quantity of the product. So we are trying to make the high quality for the niche market. We start the greenhouse production and growing the strawberries in a greenhouse with the organic certifications. After that, the strawberries we are drying as a raw material of the tea production. So we are showing it, we are doing it as a show model for the small farmers, how they can effectively use their small land and get the high quality product and easily sell in the high value and international market. You can change the picture. Close to the production and the farm, we just open tourism welcome center, like our tourism center, where the visitors can see all the production, have organic and traditional food there, and spend their day under the organic orchard, like under the organic apple trees. When you change the slide, close to the production, we want to make it the small circle with the nutritious, high value product, and having the good quality of the organic soil. So we start the mushroom production close to the farm, growing the oyster type of mushroom, and then drying the mushrooms, making the mushroom powder, and exporting as a powder. But the idea is to have the waste of the mushrooms, or making the compost for enriching our soil. Close to this whole production, we also offering the training course for other farmers, small farmers, for the youth, Agrarian University students in Armenia, organizing the master classes for visitors, for tourists, suggesting camp under the tent in the farm, organizing different music events, festivals, just making the interesting activities for the visitors. Will you change the slide? You can see some pictures from the guests, like this, the first picture, the German tourists are making this sweet sujuk, which what we call like from the waste of the production. They are making the new high quality product, the healthy snacks, covering with the dry, inside is dry food, covering with the dry food. They're studying how to make it. Will you change the slide? This is some training models on the visits picture, or the organizing their birthday parties in a farm. Just change the pictures faster, because this is the some exhibitions, and Armenian previous president was visiting our place because of its the standards, and he just want to be to see what we are doing. Local and international different exhibitions we participated, more than 45 local and 3 international big exhibitions we already had. We will change the picture. There's some pictures from the farm and the training models, what we are doing. The kids are growing their own strawberries and taking with them our strawberries, growing their house. Please change. This the first picture is the healthy snacks, which what about I was telling you. It's covered with the dried fruits. Inside also is the dried fruit. Please change. You can see some other activities inside of the farm. Overall, that's all. I try to be as shorter as possible. You're welcome with the questions.
Thank you so much, Anna. And I understand it's very difficult to summarize your whole business in only 7 minutes. But if you have any questions for Anna in the chat, please let us know. And from my perspective, first of all, thank you for showing all these pictures. It really paints a picture of your farm and the work that you're doing. It was very inspiring, and I hope that we all could come to Armenia someday and visit you. And I also think it was interesting to hear how you think very holistically about your business and about your farm, also taking care of the waste in certain ways, which also is a lot similar to what Affiong was describing in her business in Nigeria as well.
Yeah, in that case, sorry, I just forget to say that all the production, we are using the solar energy systems and trying to do the circular economy model with the environmentally friendly way. Like we are not using the, not only the chemical stuff, also everything which using in production and farm, either organic certified or produced in a community organically.
Yeah, that's super interesting. And thank you so much for sharing that and how you are, as you say, a circle within your own little farm. That is so inspiring. So keep the questions coming in the chat for Anna, and we take them later after we've heard from Robert. Well.
I have the question. If you allow me, I will answer it. It
you can
says
answer
like
it.
how many employed in your business? We have 15 full-time employees, and also the more than 45 seasonal workers, because the dry fruit production is the seasonal work. And also besides the workers, we are working more than 150 small farmers, because we are taking the small farms fresh fruit for drying and making this everything happen.
Wow, that's very impressive. Yeah, Madeleine agrees in the chat. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anna. We'll hear from you a bit more later as well. And because I would like to turn to our next speaker, who's running a project on edible insects. So welcome Robert Musundire, who's a professor at the Chinhoyi University of Technology in Zimbabwe. The screen is yours, Robert.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Robert Musundire from Chinhoyi University of Technology. I've been working on the species of edible insects for food security and health. But before I talk about snakes, I want to give a little bit of some description of what we've been doing in Zimbabwe. As you know, insects are highly nutritious in terms of protein and other vital nutrients. And they actually close a big gap in terms of nutrition within African societies. And then they've been consumed randomly in so many ways. So the first part of our project, before we looked into products and snacks, we had to address issues of the supply side of the insects, specifically looking at the quality issues and also the business aspect. So I'll start by just describing what we've done, and then how where we are in terms of the snacks. So we started in 2018, and our main goal was to actually promote women and youths in Zimbabwe and Democratic Republic of Congo to operate insect businesses, and also to develop value chains, and also formulate nutritious and safe alternative foods based on the insects, and also improve household food security, and in the process address poverty, hunger, health, and well-being. Next slide, please. So we have worked in two phases. The first phase was we wanted to actually move to support the supply side by making sure that we promote a consumption of insects within households, but nutritious and safe insects. And we used a theory of change approach where we systematically did a few steps that promoted household consumption of insects. And I'll describe some of the processes that have taken place in the first phase. Then after creating the business side, in the second phase, we have deliberately targeted the youths and women within Zimbabwe to actually improve the businesses with regards to edible insects. Next slide, please. So these are some of the stakeholders we have worked with at the local government authorities. We were working with a bigger problem. So we really had to take higher level stakeholders. And we also looked at the traders, the insect traders, and from the urban areas and rural areas. We also had to deal with consumers and also some government departments. Next slide, please. So this is how we started. As I said, insects are we traded in the open markets, as you can see on the left side. Before we started, we used to buy insects from the open markets, and this created a lot of food safety problems. And through the support of the Agri for Sale program, we have motivated to actually support construction of model facilities. where we then said insects, because of their high protein nature and their high value, let's create a space where we can trade them in a safe manner. And in the middle there, we are happy to say there was a model structure that any other community can adopt. And as we speak, traders are now trading insects from a very secure place, which guarantees a little bit of food quality issues. Next slide, please. So in the process, because of that model, backwards, we have managed to also address the issue of supply. And insects are usually collected from the wild, from wild forests. And then before our project, this trade was random and very scattered. And with our intervention, we were able to structure the trading. And here in this slide, we have one example of Momanyi worm, which is widely traded in Southern Africa. And the project has actually started to organize those insect collectors into small groups and aggregate so that the buyers will come and buy from the same place. And in the process, we have been able to eliminate the middlemen. And we are also trying already the use of digital marketing apps to link the supply to the market. And next slide, please. So now this is now more relevant to this discussion. And this is, I'm very proud of this work that we have done. What we have been doing as well during this project is to look into how can we then package some of the indigenous stories from cooking insects and then package them in a way that a modern consumer can accept. So we have done 2 cookbooks, and this is the first of the kind in Africa, and one is the Secrets of African Edible Insect Cookery. And here we describe a number of insect recipes, and we have some snacks included. And these books are online, one from Zimbabwe and one in French from the DRC. Please feel free to have a look at these very wonderful publications. Next slide, please. And this is the space that I'm proud of, and this is where we are going towards, and this is where the snacks are coming to. So we have seen we have high protein from the insects, but we want to make it more appealing to the modern consumer, especially for the young generation and in the urban areas. So what we are now working on is we want to then bring edible insects in combination with a number of indigenous fruits and grains that are found within our systems. We want to pitch products that are based within our traditional food systems. So we are working on products at the moment that will blend the protein, high protein from insects, and also the other nutrients from fruits. And we also are bringing flavor and many other things. And on the right, those are the things that we want to work on: high energy bars, nutrient dense bars, and so many other exciting products. And watch the space. These products are coming on our Zimbabwean and international market. Next slide, please. Yeah, so these are some of the key enablers in our project. We have done a lot of training for the women and also the youths who normally collect insects and fruits from the wild. We have also done a lot of stakeholder engagements and communication. And we have also seen that we need to provide processing equipment to especially the collectors and the women and the youths. This is a great enabler. Next slide, please. Yeah, so there are a lot of things that we have done, and they are summarized in this slide. You can have more of this. We have videos, we have stories published, and you can have this as indicated at the bottom of the slide. Next slide, please. And I would like to thank the Agri4Say 2030 program for funding this program, and we appreciate other input from other stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robert, for bringing the research perspective as well into this discussion and showing how to work starting from the resources and the inputs that you have towards an impact. So that was super interesting, and I enjoyed hearing about how you involved women and youth as well in this work. And it made me think of other events that I've been participating in here at the World Food Forum this week in Rome, because multiple times people have raised both the cultural but also the nutritional value of eating edible insects and worms. So thank you for also bringing your perspective from Zimbabwe.
Thank you.
And if you have any questions from Robert, please post them in the chat.
So now let's move on to our last speaker, who is Dorah Momanyi, founder of Nutritious agriculture network in Kenya. And in her work, she reestablishes the use of indigenous grains by making plant-based snacks, which we all are so eager to hear more about.
Thank you so much. I first want to say I am thoroughly impressed by the previous speakers. They have super challenged me, and I hope I can keep up with my business and get to where they are. So because I don't have a presentation, you can always go to Instagram at IPOP Africa and get some photos. Sorry, let me just type it again. Africa. Yeah, so I will tell you a little bit about IPOP Africa. IPOP Africa is our brand name, and Nutritious Agriculture Network is our company. So when I was growing up, I mean, I snacked sparingly. You know, like we say, a social drinker, I was a social snack eater. I guess maybe because I didn't have too much money to buy those snacks. But my friends, on the other hand, feared to eat lots of these snacks because they feared they would gain weight, which I hardly had gained for my entire life. So undisturbed by these various reasons, we kept on snacking both sparingly. Then when I joined my master's research work and as a graduate research assistant, I researched on traditional grains such as amaranth, sorghum, then millet, both household surveys and laboratory analyses, and of course in marginalized agricultural areas in Kenya, where the production of maize, which is our main staple food, has consecutively declined in the past years. The only memory I had about these traditional grains, even as I was growing up, even as a research student, was at my grandmother's breakfast table and at the dinner table. But in retrospect today, her table as well has been dominated by the common maize, as the millennials love it. So also another thing that puzzled me is that my laboratory results and literature agreed that these orphan crops, which I have mentioned, sorghum, millet, and amaranth, have a unique nutritional profile. But then households I interviewed recorded high levels of food insecurity and malnutrition. And one time I flew to a country in Europe, and I'm supposed to dispense amaranth puffs at $17 US and an amaranth snack bar at $1.9 US. Of course, I didn't buy them because I had a lot of raw amaranth in my house, and I thought, I should use them better. So the quest to bridge this gap and answer all these questions I have asked founded IPOP Africa brand 2 years ago. And basically, IPOP Africa is a climate smart agribusiness initiative where we leverage on a new technology that was introduced to Kenya, the popping technology, to reclaim the sovereignty of indigenous cereals, just to shape the future of snacking, fulfilling the quest of our healthy population that is seeking for healthier, plant-forward, as well as delicious and convenient snacks. We bring together a robust ethnic flavors from different cultures consisting of herbs and spices, and we ensure that we give our consumers both the health benefits and also we ensure they enjoy or indulge their moments of snacking. We promote green consumption for our customers seeking to purchase environmentally friendly food products in the market. Through initiatives, we use reusable packaging bags, and also we contribute to the ever diminishing forest cover through our One Snack, One Tree initiative, where we plant a fruit tree for the snacks you consume, and our aim is to create sustainable villages, solving the twin problem of food insecurity and also climate change. Our main products are in popped or puffed forms. They can be puffed sorghum, puffed millet, puffed amaranth, and these are ready to eat snacks, but you can also use them as a breakfast cereal, and we are also doing snack bars. Because we care about sustainability, snacking as usual, we thought could leave millions undernourished, poor, and in a poor planet. So what we do, we leverage on the use of locally available traditional millets, sorghums, and amaranth, because they are carbon neutral crops. And we endeavor to shorten our food value chains, because all these are local, produced in Kenya, and thus we pride in reduced food miles. And we also want to become a food sovereign state, ensuring that we do not depend on commodities that are imported or raw materials that are imported. We also support a sustainable traditional agriculture system that synergizes the natural environment, promoting biodiversity of these crops, especially because they are considered lost crops or orphan crops. And so we try to bring them back, but because of a millennial and a modern population, we want to bring them back in a fashionable way that we enjoy, and especially Generation Z enjoys. And we also leverage on technologies that transform the local food product, and also technologies that promote minimal waste production through the production process. And why did we consider the indigenous grains? We know our broken food system largely depends on the dominant wheat, rice, and maize. And this has resulted to everyone, even the traditional, the old guys, forgetting the crops of our ancestors, which are undervalued, under-researched, and underutilized. Then they come second, our commercial crops. So the renewed interest in using our African or our native biological resources, like the sorghums and millets, are our key endeavor at IPOP Africa, because these pseudo-cereals and cereals are a promising way to ensure that we harness or we are able to combat food insecurity, climate change, because they are drought tolerant and they use minimal water and fuel resources that are already becoming scarce. And also they have an extra or a better nutrition profile, and we are looking at solving malnutrition in its various forms. So thank you for listening to me. Let's endeavor to eat what we can control. And our slogan is Snack Africa, snack greener, and snack guilt-free. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dorah. It was really interesting to hear about your process, and also I will be following it on Instagram, and I think you all should too. I look forward to see where you take your business next.
Yeah, and from my side, thank you all for truly inspiring presentations. It's so interesting to see how you have these different ideas using different raw materials in different contexts, but there are also so many similarities between the work that the four of you do, both to support the food systems in your local contexts, but also how you have managed to expand the business or the research to a wider sector to meet other opportunities and adding value to the larger context in terms of providing jobs, education, knowledge, capacity building, and to meet this demand of that customers have for healthier snacks. So thank you so much for sharing. I'm very, very inspired, to say the least. We do have some questions in the chat, and we also prepared some questions for you beforehand. And starting with kind of the consumer side, since that's why we're here to talk about healthy snacks and how to improve our diets to also improve our planet's health in the end. I would like to ask you, Robert, you told me or us about this cookbook and the small snacks bags you produced. Have you seen any indication of changing eating habits among the consumers that have used your cookbook or eaten the snacks that you've been part of producing?
Thank you, Alice. Yes, before we produced the cookbook, there's been, especially with the young people, the fear of eating whole insects. It has been quite common. And when we transformed these insects into flowers and then blended with other food products and formulated more appealing, more good smelling products, I must say we have had a very big change, especially in the community that we live. We are living in a university community with thousands of young people. And we are busy now creating these products over and over again. And even from at national level, we have had a lot of inquiries. The chefs, the hotels, they are quite keen to go into this space, as these are quite innovative products that are coming from our indigenous knowledge systems. So that's what I can say for now.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. I hope it just expands also beyond the borders of Zimbabwe.
All right. A question for you, Dorah. It is interesting to hear how you combine the demand for healthy snacks with the use of indigenous grains. Is it changing the way people eat in Kenya, and are consumers increasingly asking for products using sustainable and locally grown crops?
Yes, thank you. I think I will classify the population in Kenya into two different segments. We have the lower income and, of course, the middle and upper income, and they are influenced differently when it comes to snacking. You see, what is available in our markets is basically or snack products that are probably cheaper than what we produce, but they are high in salt, sugar, and oils. And people from the lower income segment, I could say, could rather go to the street and buy an oil-fried, salted, and sugar-coated popcorn along the streets costing 20 cents instead of going for an amaranth product, probably as well. But when you look at the upper or the middle and upper income, you find that they already recognize that they need to change their healthy eating, or the way they eat, or I can say the way they snack. So there's a rapid change in their consumption choices, and of course towards eating healthier alternatives. And this is the markets that we try to leverage on and give them snack products that are oil-free, that are minimally processed, that are gluten-free, also that are they're rich in fiber, I can also say, and have a range of other raw materials that have an extra nutritional benefit.
All right. Thank you so much. I wish you all the success. Now let's move on.
Yeah, we do have some questions in the chat, both to Affiong and Anna, and it's about really the supply chain, the supply side of your businesses. So I would like to turn to the both of you with the same question. You talked about connecting to farmers and using local crops and local products in your businesses. But how did you connect to the farmers, and what in your experience have been the main driver also for the farmers to be connected to your business? We can start with you, Afi.
Okay, great question. So basically, we obviously see this as a symbiotic relationship, where if we invest in the farmers to help them to improve their quality, then they will also be tethered to us, meaning that they'd want to grow with our company and thus continue to supply us raw materials. Now, in Nigeria, a lot of farmers have been disappointed a lot around a lot of promises, not having access to market, taking on a lot of risk, losing, their harvest and not having anybody, any insurance or any way of recovering their losses. So it is a very, sort of like, it is a long-winded approach to be able to say season after season, we have to show some promises and basically demonstrate that we're a partner to work with. So the first season we offered a completely free needs assessment to them, came to their farms, helped a lot of them count their trees. Most of them didn't know how many trees they had on their farms. Most of them thought they had more trees than didn't. We gave them a plan on how to rehabilitate the farms, even when we knew that they did not have the investment to do it. So we did that before the season. Closer to the season, we came to tag their trees to help them know which farms, which trees are going to be fruiting early. We help them with when to harvest. So we have to work with them quite closely and make a lot of investment upfront to be able to demonstrate that, we are the partner to work with. And so when we encourage them and advise them to do certain things, they will do that. But we expect this to be a long approach. We don't necessarily have all the, I won't say that, oh, we've worked and we've turned around, all our farmers in one go. It is a work in progress. It's going to take season after season, but it's also part of what we're committed to do. Giving them a lot of value add. We've given some farmers free suckers and improved varieties. We're helping farmers with pruning their trees, helping them inducing flowering. So we're doing what we can to be able to demonstrate that and show them what really a model farm and a productive farm is. So it is a lot of investment on our end, but it's something we have to do for the sustainability of these farms and also to ensure we have the raw material. So that's a bit of what we do. If anybody wants more detail, we have some write-ups and stuff about what we've done in the past, and we're happy to share that. I hope that answers the question.
It perfectly did, and thank you for being that the model business as well. We really need the people like you to take the first step and showing everyone else how it's done. Anna, are you still in the call?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, my connection. I don't know what's happened with that. That's why I cannot turn on my camera. I will say almost the same thing. Working with the farmers, be a role model for them, show how they can produce and consume their product is the main thing when you are doing. Then after that, they are coming to your farm, like to work with you. That's the main idea of the work.
Thank you so much. Again, finding the similarities between your businesses. I think we all that are in this call can learn from this, at least all of you in the audience that are also curious of starting maybe a business yourself, maybe in the agri-food business, or perhaps in the snacking industry itself. I wish we had more time to answer more questions, but unfortunately we are running out. But I would be happy to connect with you further as well. And you've seen the email addresses and the Instagram accounts of the speakers in the chat. So if anyone in the audience have more questions, I'm sure it's more than fine for you to contact the speakers directly after this event as well. And we so much appreciate all of you being here today. And after this, after we close this meeting, there will also be a short survey. So we would be super happy if you can just take a minute to answer that as well. And I will give the last words to Rojda.
Yes, thank you all so much for being here. I have learned so much new things, and it's been really motivated and inspired. So a big thank you to all of you. And as I said, it has been amazing, and I hope we all will be keeping in touch and keep the connection alive between young entrepreneurs and also contributing to a healthy planet. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of the speakers.
Thank you all. Bye.
See you soon.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye-bye.